Hi everybody, welcome to my Ransom Notes and No podcast and Evening TV. And today I'm answering a question about infidelity and trusting again. I got a question. Actually, usually what I do is I take in a lot of questions and then I compile them down into which ones are the most common, and usually I answer them that way rather than one specifically. But so it comes into several people over time ask, after I've been burned, how do I love again? Sometimes they're talking about whether they've been in a bad relationship that's over and they want to know how to love again in a new relationship, or sometimes it's a case of they're not sure. This isn't necessarily a toxic relationship, a narcissistic relationship. But it's someone who has betrayed them and they're wanting to know if and how they could trust again. And my answer in either case is that the thing that is most important is that you understand that it's really not about trusting the other person. And one of the things that I want to say to people those of us who got into some of these bad relationships and really did get hurt so badly, that underneath all of that, we can feel really weak and we can feel really duped and stupid and all this stuff. But what we really were, and still are, were really extremely courageous people. What we did is we trusted with our whole open hearts, because there is sort of a self-protective mechanism that human beings all have. And ours told us that whether or not we didn't expect it, we didn't want this to happen, but on a subconscious level, we knew that if the person really screwed up, if they weren't perfect, if they did something wrong, if they hurt us, we would be okay. We believed we would be okay. And we are okay. Really, we are okay. You don't let them take that away from you. So you had something happen and you got burned, you turned that into a learning lesson, you learned something from it, you got stronger maybe because of it, you got wiser. And there is something to be said for not being gullible, not being naive. And so we got a little more street smart, we got a little more savvy. And that's all great. That's all really important. And what we know about ourselves is it didn't destroy us. The fact that we went through this horrible thing, it didn't ruin us. We're still here. We're still standing, and we can love again because we trust ourselves. We know we can make it. We know we can be okay. We've done it once. We bounced back from something really terrible. We trust ourselves. We trust ourselves that we're going to know better next time. We're not going to let that happen again. We trust that we're going to have better judgment about who we're getting involved with. We trust that we're going to have better judgment about not letting it go so far. If things do go bad, we're going to spot the red flags. We're not going to let ourselves be abused as long and tolerate as much as we did before, because we know something more now. We're smarter. And then we know ultimately that if A and B still don't keep us, still don't protect us, and we do end up getting involved with someone bad, and they do end up hurting us again, we know we can take it. We know we're going to be okay. We trust ourselves. It's all about the trust we put in ourselves, because we can't predict what they're going to do. And we don't want to have to get in the business of trying to. You don't want to have to be controlling, be feeling frantic, needy, anything like that. We want to come from an empowered place, which is, and that's also another way to just sabotage a relationship anyway. You don't want that. You want to be able to get into a relationship, believe that it's going to be okay, believe that it's going to be good, put your heart out there, go ahead, because it's true to you to do. This is the other thing, is sometimes people will say to me, oh, I'll get involved, but I'm going to hold my heart back. I'm not going to be as trusting. I say I love you first. I'll let them do it. And, it's fine. You don't need to bare your soul on the very first date, but you still need to be true to who you are. You don't need to start playing games. You don't need to start withholding information. You start being, anybody but who you really are, just because it's not going to protect you anyway. You know what I mean? you're who you are. You be true to that. And really what the saving grace is in all of it is that in all of that, I did what was true for me. You know, I did devote my life to people that didn't return, that didn't love me back in return. It's true. I built a life around a man, and I built a life around a family that didn't take proper care of me when I needed them. That's true. But I did what was true for me. And would it have hurt any less if I didn't do that? No, I think in fact it would have hurt more, you know, because I had the experience, I still got the experience of devoting myself to a family, of putting myself, giving myself completely into a marriage and completely committing to it. I don't have any thoughts about like, oh, would it may have worked out better if I'd been more committed or more, I don't ever have to think that. I know that I was completely committed. I know there was absolutely nothing that I did wrong. I know there was nothing that I withheld. I know when my parents are over there, projecting and shifting blame, I know completely without any shadow of a doubt that what it is. I don't have to wonder, oh, maybe they could be right at all, because I know exactly what I was doing and who I was and where my heart was and what my intentions were completely. And so if I had not been in integrity, that's when it really hurts. That's when it really hurts. When you do something out of integrity for yourself and then the person betrays you, that's really bad. And, I didn't do that. And I don't think, those of us that are here, that's not what we're talking about. What really matters to me really is love and relationships and family and belonging. So I came back and devoted myself to that. And then when it went sideways, I did have a thought about, not pursuing that career. But I really did. They didn't twist my arm. It wasn't like, it was very easy for me to do. I wanted to devote myself to family. And what came of that is I did have the end of my grandparents' lives with them, and a really valuable relationship with my grandparents, and with my sons. That's not regretful. The fact that they did things that were, the onus of the deception and all of that was on them, and the fact that things didn't, that they rejected me, or that has really nothing to do with me. I know that has nothing to do with me. They would have done that to anybody. That was completely and altogether all about them. And so the truth, you really don't have to trust them that much. You really don't. I mean, obviously you don't want to get involved with someone who has a million red flags going on, because you don't want to set yourself up. But really the fact of the matter is, it's all about trusting yourself. You're betting yourself on you. Like you said, you've been through it before. You know what you can handle. You know that you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. And so, you can do it. You can let them back in. You can put yourself out there. You also trust yourself that you're gonna, the buck stops here. If they do it again, you're gonna say, you trust yourself to have a boundary. You trust yourself to say, no, okay, you're not gonna treat me like that. So you trust yourself not to let yourself be abused also. So you trust yourself that you can recover if they don't turn out to be who they say they are, and you trust yourself not to let yourself be abused. So that's who you have to trust. It really has nothing to do with them. Okay, you guys, thanks a lot. Please subscribe and write comments below and give me a thumbs up. All right, I'll talk with you later. Bye-bye.